Nvidia is one of those companies that I would say kind of works behind the scenes in so many different ways. Usually we don't get this from different companies, from their products. Like, for example, if you're using Amazon, the website, or the app, like you're just actively aware that you are using an Amazon product. Same with Apple, right? If I have an Apple iPhone, like I'm pretty aware that I'm using an Apple product. If somebody says, hey, do you have, any kind of Apple device, I would say absolutely. And going beyond tech, that same thing applies for, any kind of brand recognition. Coca-Cola, Nike, Toyota, yeah, you get it. You're very much aware that you are using their product. But with Nvidia, that is just not the case. So their big thing is that they make graphics processing units, or GPUs, as well as something they've been doing very recently. They've also been making AI chips. And for a company like this, it might be easy just for the average person to really not think much of them. But it just so happens that Nvidia has just become the most valuable company in the world. So it's kind of been trading places in the past few days now. With Apple, they've kind of been playing racquetball with that top position. But when that happens with these sorts of things, usually that means that the predecessor, the person that was in second place, is basically trending in the direction that they will hold the top position. To me, and maybe to a lot of people, this kind of came out of nowhere. Nvidia, like I said, you're just not aware that you are using their product. But it's very clear when you really look at it that they are everywhere. They make graphics processing units for like everything: computers, consoles, smartphones, tablets, even like machines in factories. They're everywhere. And then now that they are making AI chips, that has been a very big thing that has apparently contributed to their recent massive market surge. People really just are investing in these AI chips. Companies are, as the days go on, wanting to use AI more and more. So really, I guess it shouldn't be a surprise that a company that basically dips its toes into really anything and everything that is tech is now the most valuable company of all time, even if you've never really heard of them or just don't know much about them at all. Yeah, they are now worth about $3.5 trillion. It is very interesting too when you look at this. I talk a lot about like tech and video games, and it's just very interesting how things have changed. Trends have really massively changed over time. Like when you look at the market capitalization of basically the most valuable companies of all time over time, you definitely get that sense. So I'm looking at like the year 1997, for example. So in the late 90s, the most valuable company was General Electric. Now granted, they are absolutely involved in what you could consider technology, but it's more like appliances, engines, that sort of thing. And then also in the 90s, for the most valuable companies, you had like Coca-Cola, Procter & Gamble, Johnson & Johnson, Walmart, Pfizer, Walt Disney. Yeah, most of them being kind of just like everyday product kind of companies, like goods, groceries, hygiene products, just random stuff like that. Whereas now, if you look at it in 2024, the top three most valuable companies, and they are top three by a long slide, so number four isn't even really close right now to number three. The top three most valuable companies right now are Nvidia, Apple, and Microsoft. They are all worth over $3 trillion, and number four is Google. And a lot of these other ones, again, are just tech. It is crazy. It is very interesting to see these trends. It is absolutely obvious now that really the things that dominate the economic world today are no longer really just, everyday products, groceries, hygiene stuff, appliances, stuff like that. Now it's really tech, AI, software, hardware, video games, tablets. Yeah, it's very cool. And like I said, it really should, I guess, be no surprise that the company that kind of is involved in anything that is tech is now the top dog as far as the most valuable company in the world. Now, I'll also say too, I focus a lot on video games here, and with Apple, obviously when you look at like Nvidia and Apple, both of them have contributed in many ways to video games. And I guess looking at it the other way around, both companies have used video games to increase their footprint on exactly what they do, and it has massively helped both companies. Apple has been trying to get involved more and more with video games recently. Some of the efforts haven't been the best, but they're still trying. But when you look at video games, I think you still have to give the crown absolutely to Nvidia. Many would say that they have the strongest GPUs to date, so it's very common to find their GPUs powering like big gaming computers. It is also interesting that the recent Xbox and PlayStation consoles actually have not been powered by Nvidia, even though previous PlayStation and Xbox consoles were. Now, that being said, there are rumors that the newer Xbox and PlayStation PlayStation consoles, whenever they come out, will be powered by Nvidia. But Nintendo has actually very much embraced Nvidia. The Nintendo Switch is powered by a custom Nvidia chip, and there's a very, very strong rumor, I don't think it's confirmed yet, but a very strong rumor that Nvidia is going to power their next console. Wouldn't surprise me one bit if the next Xbox and PlayStation is powered by Nvidia. They just are everywhere. They make great stuff. Obviously, their role in video games has massively helped the company, but now it would seem that what has really pushed them over the edge to the first place position is actually AI. Among all of it, though, just looking at everything, like I said, it really isn't surprising that Nvidia is now in first place. Now, who has the first place position and really who is in the top 10 is really always changing, so it'll be interesting to keep an eye on, exactly what these top 10, top 5, top 3 companies are as the years go on, but I would bet every dollar bill that I have that at least for a few decades or the longest time, or really just forever, who knows, tech is always going to be dominant here. I mean, it's very clear that GPUs, AI, and just tech in general is powering the world and is now the clear top position in market capitalization.